Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Mark, a trainer here at WEX Field Service Management, and today we're covering daily operations for office users. This webinar will cover what is a job. We'll do a job page overview, run through a job together from start to finish. We'll look at the work queue, unassigned appointments versus service requests, how to do a job with a second visit, like a callback, using the flag for follow-up feature, and we'll end with job reporting so you can manage your jobs in bulk. We'll have our live Q&A at the end where you'll be able to get your questions answered live on stream. And without further ado, let's dive into WEX FSM. So the first thing that we are going to cover is, what is a job in your system? Now, to get to a job, each customer that you add, you can go to their customer page and view their jobs. So just to give you an example, when you first log in, it'll bring you to the schedule page here. And we want to look for our customers. So there's a quick search for customers in the top right. And we're going to search for our customer, Mary Smith. Type their name in. You'll be able to see if they're in your customer list. If they are in your customer list, they will show up here. You'll be able to click on their name and go to their profile page. Now, just as a tip, if someone is not a customer yet, you can just click the red plus button here and add them as a customer. Now, just a tip for adding customers, you can choose between residential and commercial. When you are creating a commercial customer, it will allow you to put a business name. And when you're starting to add this customer, it's going to show you a little red asterisk next to all of the required fields. And you'll notice here, email is required. Maybe your customer does not have an email, or maybe you did not grab an email from them now, but you will have it later. That's okay. You can turn off this requirement for email. And to do so, you will just choose opt out of marketing emails and opt out of email notifications. Having both of those toggled on will make the email requirement go away. And now you can just add your customer without an email. But we do have Mary Smith in our system, so we will go to her page. Click here, and that will take you to the customer page. Now, in your system, when you create jobs, which can be done right here by clicking Create New Job Form, or from the schedule page, which we'll do in just a little bit. When you create an appointment, it will also create a job. Those jobs are then saved here in the timeline. So we can see these gray rectangles are jobs. Each one of these have their own job number, which you see in red. If you want to click into that job and see what's in there, you can just click on the red text here. However, you can quickly spot check what is in each job folder by clicking the little drop down arrow here. So this red arrow, if you click on it, I can see there's only an appointment in here. This one has an appointment with some call notes. This one has an appointment, a job note, quite a few proposals. We got an invoice in here, a payment. So you can actually do some quick searching just by using the drop down for each job. You can also search for jobs here. So we will search for my job 11918 and then click into the job to view it. Now that we're in here, we are on the job page. So this is job 11918. This is a callback for a part order. And in here, we have a lot of different items. You will be able to see, is the job open, closed, or abandoned? You have the job type, which Job types are a way to tag your jobs with which type of job it is, and that makes it nice for reporting. So if I'm tagging all of my service jobs, and then I'm tagging my maintenance jobs, I'm tagging my repair jobs, 6 months from now, I can go and look at data for each of those types of jobs. Now, while we're here to set up job types, you can customize what these are to your business. To customize job types, you will go to Settings, Jobs, Job Types. The job types here will allow you to create new job types. You just click New Job Type here, put in the name of the job type, and then right here you can choose the color. And when you're on the schedule page and you create appointments, you'll see that they're different colors. The colors of your appointments relate to the color you set for the job type. And so some examples here, if I were doing an install, I would see that as green. And if I were doing a no AC call, I would see that as blue. And that does come in handy when you're looking at the schedule. So if you see a lot of green, you'll know, oh, we have a lot of installs today versus a lot of purple where we would have a lot of maintenance. So this is where you set that up. And we'll go back to our jobs page here. And whatever you set up on that job types page is what will show up here and when you're scheduling. Job price, this is the pricing that items on your proposals and invoices will take on. We'll set that to standard price for now. And then we have calls and notes. These are any notes that have been added, whether that's from the office or out in the field. Any checklists you may have added, you will see here. There is a way to auto add checklists. But if you want to add a new checklist, you would simply click New to attach a checklist to this job. Equipment history. So you will add equipment from the customer page or out in the field. While you're doing the job, you can just update the equipment. That will save on the customer's file, and anytime you do a job for that location in the future, you'll have the history here to easily access. Attachments, anything that you upload. Let's say you want to take some images of what you're working on, you can upload those here. Review requests, so you can send out a request to your customer for them to review your business. User allocation. And I do want to talk a little bit about profit and loss. Your system is going to do the math for you and tell you how much profit you have made from this job. In order for that to be correct, you need two main things set up. Number one is your product cost. When you are building your price book, you will be able to put in the cost for how much those items are. Then, when you add those items from your price book to your job forms, your proposals and invoices, it'll subtract the cost from the job from those items. The labor cost you will want to update on the user page, and that is how much it costs you to pay the user or the field technician who is doing the job for 1 hour of service. Now, for updating product costs, that is done in the price book. So you would go to More Applications, Price Book, My Price Book. And this is just a way you would build out your price book. So when you are adding items, and we're just going to go to a general part here as an example. Any item that you're adding, it will have a cost field. So if this is empty, your profit and loss will not be able to factor in a cost for it. So just make sure you have your costs put in. And this is a default cost. If the actual item you're selling costs more, you can always adjust that on the job. Let's go back out of here. And then for labor, you will update that from settings, user management, users. Each user will have a labor cost per hour. And you don't have to put it in for everyone, but anyone who's going to go out and run jobs, like my field technician here, Dustin, right here, you'll want to add in the labor cost per hour. And then when Dustin goes out, he won't even have to think about it. He'll just clock into the job. He'll say he's at the job. He'll be able to complete the job. And then the system will take or his labor cost per hour, multiply that times hours worked, and then that will give the labor cost for the job. If this is empty, just realize that it's not going to track that. So you won't have that part of the profit and loss for your reporting. All right. Moving right along, we have belled notes. This is so handy, especially you're working in the office. There's a ton of different jobs going on at one time. And when you look at a job, it's nice to have a little reminder, almost like a sticky note that can hold any info that you need to know for the job. This one says, here's the gate code, and Mary has two cats. If you need to go inside, don't let the cats out. Good information for the technician to know when they get there. And belled notes can be added to any job from the customer page. So we're going to go back to Mary Smith's customer page here. And if we want to add a belled note, we will use right here in the quick actions. It says leave a note about the customer. Now, this is a great way just to add customer notes. If I add a note and I do not bell it, it will show up in the timeline here. And as I add more jobs, that will go down the timeline. But when you're creating a note, we're just going to click leave a note about the customer, and we will select a location. And then I would type in whatever I need. Maybe you want to put all your filter sizes in here, and that's easily referenceable. But click the bell right here. When you bell a note, now it will become attached to this location. And any job you create in the future, it will automatically attach this note. And then you can update this note from here whenever you need to. You'll see the note at the top, and you'll just click edit. Let's go back to our job. And then each job has four different sections. We have appointments and service requests, which will have any appointments you've done. You can do multiple appointments and complete each of those appointments inside of one job, which will stay open until you are finished with the job. You've taken payment, the customer has the service. Proposals and financing will hold all of your proposals. If you want to quickly view a proposal, you would just click on the PDF icon. That will show you a PDF version of what the proposal looks like. This is what your customer sees if you send this to them. And then we have purchase orders. You can order parts directly from your system, and invoices and payments. And this is where you can create invoices. If you want to create a new document, and this is true for all of these document types, you can click new to create a new document, like a new invoice, or copy. And the copy feature does come in very handy if you are doing the same types of jobs over and over again. Let's say that I just did the same job yesterday. I want to do the same service for Mary here today. I would just click copy. If it is something in my favorites, then I can find it easily here. That is a pro tip. If you know that there's a document you want to copy over and over again, maybe make it like a template, you would favorite it. And I also recommend naming because then we can easily see. So let's say that this general service call with a filter is the one I want to copy. I would just click on it. It will take all the information from the previous document and move it to the new document with the new customer information. And that can save some time because now I don't have to search, look for items. This is already ready to go. And if I need to make any edits to this, that's okay. I can edit this. It is unique for the new customer and will not update the one we copied from. Let's go ahead and save and close. All right. And I believe the last thing is payment. So any payments that you make, payments can be done directly from the invoice job form itself. Or if you already know you're coming to this job to take a payment, you don't even have to open the invoice. You can just process or record payment right from here. Process payment is going to process through WEX FSM and send that to your bank account. Record payment is if you're processing outside of WEX FSM. Good example would be if you're taking a cash payment, you'll still need to take that cash to the bank. So you'll use record payment to document that you took that payment, but it will not process. You'll still need to take that cash, check, whatever it is to the bank. All right. So now let's run through a job together. We've seen what a job is. We saw where to create a job. And now this is what the job page looks like. Let's go back to the schedule page. And we're going to run through a job together now from start to finish, just so you can see an overall office view of what that looks like. When you log in, you'll come to the schedule page, but if you're somewhere else, you just click schedule. That will bring you here. And in this scenario, a customer calls, they need a service, and we want to first schedule an appointment so we can send one of our guys out there to do the work. To do this, you will either click new. Clicking new will start a brand new appointment model from scratch. If you already know the date, the time, and the technician, there is a little shortcut here. I could click on, let's say we want to schedule for today, Monday the 2nd at 12 p.m. for myself, Mark Perret. We would click right here, and then it will auto-populate the date, time, and technician when we get into scheduling. All right, from here, customer appointment is what we want for our customers. Other event is great for internal events. You can create your own event types. You could, put birthdays on the calendar if you want to. Put sales meetings maybe that you have every Monday, whatever it is that is not customer facing. That's what other event is great for. But today we have a customer on the line and we are going to enter their name. Justin, same as before, if they're in your list, you'll see them here. If not, you can quickly add them with the red plus button. So, Justin, we're ready to create an appointment with Justin. We'll click. You've got your customer information at the top. Which address? Justin has some rental properties. Which of these are we going to go out? Let's say we're going to service his home today. And then job. This is very important when organizing things in your system, is using the job field here correctly. If this is a brand new job, even if we've done other jobs for them in the past, this is just a brand new service, something new we need to look into. I would create a new job, and that's what it is by default here. When I hit schedule, it's going to create a job folder, and it's going to put this appointment in that job. And now we have an official job folder for this job. If this is a callback, let's say that we couldn't complete the job, we need to come back a second time. You would want to click the drop down and pick whatever previous job folder that job relates to. You can search. So if you know that this is a callback for job 11918, you can type that in, and if that is here, that would show up. 11918 is for Mary Smith. That's the wrong job number. But you get the idea. You type in what you need. You can search here by scrolling down, and selecting the previous job means that it'll put this appointment in that previous job. So when the technician goes out, they'll see all the history from that first visit. Job name, it says optional. Highly recommend using a job name. This is going to help you just recall what this job was. Maybe this was a no AC call. Select the job type. This is where we're tagging what type of job it is. And then schedule now allows us to schedule right now, and we're going to put it on the schedule. Now we can see here the appointment date, time, and technician are already pre-selected. So that is already done because we clicked on the calendar. If I want to add some helpers, let's say I want someone to come out and help me with the job, I can just click the drop down here and select another technician. When I hit schedule, it will schedule for both of us. We'll both see it on our mobile app out in the field. Appointment tags. Now, this is great for reporting as well. Some of our reports do allow you to filter by appointment tags. Maybe you want this to show up as a service job type, but you also want it to show up as a no AC call. Now you have two tagging options essentially. But another way to use the appointment tags is for reminders. And if you're the one working in the office, you probably will appreciate this. Let's say that you get tired of typing to bring the big ladder or some type of reminder every single time. You can just add that here as a tag, and then you just click on it, and now that has been added. And the technician will see these tags out in the field. So if you put bring 12-foot ladder, they'll see that, and that can act as a reminder for them to grab it from the truck before they go. This is a customer facing text box, or oh my goodness, this is not customer facing. I said the wrong thing. So this box is not customer facing. So say what you need to about the job. This is communication between you and the field, just so you're on the same page. This is another place that you could put gate codes, remind them of pets, or things they need to bring. And then finally, when appointment scheduling, we have appointment notifications. If you hit schedule and scheduled is on, it will send a message out to the customer letting them know the appointment has been scheduled. You can send a 1 week or 1 day prior reminder, and then en route, if you have en route turned on, when the technician says, I'm on my way, they hit on my way, it'll send a message to the customer letting them know their technician is on the way. All right, just confirm who you would like to send this to, the confirmations, and we're good to go. Let's put these are notes about the job. All right, we've got everything we need. We're ready to schedule. We will click schedule. That's going to create our appointment. We'll see that now on the schedule page. We can see it added for both Dustin and myself. And we can see that it's red, so we know that is coming from the job type. Now, what's really cool about this is you can get a gauge of how things are going, or at least where people are in their day with their job visually from the schedule page. If I hover over this appointment, I'm just going to go to the job. Hovering over it will show you a summary of the job. If I want to go into that job, I can go here and simply click on the job name. And now we are in here, inside this job. So this scenario is the field technician is out in the field doing the work, and you're in the office just keeping an eye on what's going on. So I go out to the job, or sorry, I'm sitting in my truck. I'm ready to go. From my mobile app, I'm going to hit on my way, and that will change the status to en route. And now from the schedule page, we can see there are moving dotted lines, and that means that this technician is on the way to the job. Then, when I get to the job, I will click check in, that I'm checked into the job, I'm ready to do the work. Now, those moving dotted lines on the schedule page have stopped. So it's just a dotted outline. That means that this user is at the job doing the work. And finally, I complete the job. So I will mark the job as complete. And again, I'm probably doing this from the mobile app out in the field. And now we can see that that has changed to gray. So if you see gray, that means that job has been completed by this technician. Next, let's take a look at, oh, let's finish out the job, finish out the job. So we did the appointment. We see that it's complete. And now it's time to create an invoice and take payment. You can do this in the mobile app out in the field. We're going to show you how to do it from the desktop today. So let me, and just to give you an idea here, let's say you see that this is complete. It's time to now charge the customer. You can hover over, click on the job to go into the job. And I need to create an invoice so we can take payment. So we'll scroll down to the bottom, hit invoices and payments. And now let's create a new invoice. At this point, you're thinking, what service did I did? What do I need to charge? You will click Add Item to open your price books. This page will have, it may look slightly different depending on your subscription. From Pricebook is the main integrated WEX FSM Pricebook. Everyone has that as part of their subscription, and you can build that out manually yourself. The flat rate price book is from Profit Rhino, which is a add-on subscription. However, if you have Profit Rhino, if you use Profit Rhino, you know how awesome this is. It puts in a large catalog of pricing, all specific to your region, and it includes the name, the product numbers, descriptions, pictures, pricing for commercial and residential. It's just a very big pre-made price book, which is nice. It saves a ton of time from having to manually create one yourself. And if you are syncing to QuickBooks, you will see your QuickBooks item list from here. Something important to know about the QuickBooks item list, that is a two-way sync item. And if you're going to edit the pricing, like your default pricing of these items, you would need to do that in QuickBooks, and that will sync up to WEX FSM. Because if you add an item, let's say, to your document, it becomes unique. So any updates or changes that you make is not going to affect the original in the item list. All right, so we want to pull in some items. I can either search with key terms. So let's find just a general part. Click on it if that's the one you want. You can select a multiple if you would like. And these will be added in the order you click them. So it's important that you are searching for things in the order you'd like to see them on the page. So general part, we want that first. We've selected that. Instead of using the search, you can look through folders. This is going to be your folder organization from your price book. And let's add some labors. We're going to go to General, Service, and Labor. Here we go. So now I can see I have two items selected and we will hit add items. That will add them to the invoice and this is ready to go. We can even see that there are some savings that have applied. That would be because Justin is a maintenance plan customer, so we're giving the maintenance plan pricing on parts, but we have that pricing turned off for labor here. And now we are good to go. We're ready to charge the customer. So we're gonna scroll down. From the invoice, you can pay now, which is that processing through WEX FSM, record payment, which is going to be if you're processing outside of WEX FSM, or send it to the customer. Let's click send. Actually, you can hit send and that will allow you to view a PDF version of this if you want to view this as what the customer will see before you send it. But just to show an example of payment, let's go ahead and record a payment. So we'll click record payment. It will notify you if the customer has not signed the document. And here we go. So we're paying for this invoice today. Let's say they paid with cash and record payment. Now, if we scroll to the bottom, we can see there it is. We have our invoice, it's been paid, and this job is complete. So that is a basic run through of a job from start to finish. We created our appointment. That put the appointment on our technician's schedule. They went out, did the job. We were able to see visually those updates of them working through the job until it was complete. Then we were able to go in, create an invoice, add items from our price book, and take payment. But sometimes you will get to the end of a job and you have a follow-up. We're going to need to come back for something. In that scenario, it is best to use the flag for follow-up feature. That is right here on desktop. On mobile, there's three dots in the top right of the screen, and you just click that and hit flag for follow-up. So the scenario for using the flags is any follow-up. You need to remember something to go back and do for this. Let's say an example would be you need to order a part. You'll click flag for follow-up, select the follow-up type, which it may be, different. You can add your own follow-up types here, custom. But let's say we need to order a part. Assigning, assigning comes in really handy if you have particular people who do certain follow-ups. So if I have someone who I know does all of our part ordering, I can assign it to them. And then when they go to the report, they'll be able to just pull up flags that have been assigned to them and do their job from there. Put in anything in the flag, we need to order this part and hit save. That now has flagged this job. So we can see this very easily. And the best recommendation I have for you on flag or tracking flagged jobs is from the job list. So we'll go to jobs, job list. So the job list, great place to search for jobs. It's just a big list of all your jobs in your system. But I really like coming here to look at my flags. So I'm going to click show flag jobs only. And we see every job in our system that has a flag. And you can click on the flag to view it. Here's the flag that we just created. And if I'm Alex, I can see this was assigned to me. If I'm Alex, I can also just change assignee to myself and see all of my personal flags that have been assigned to me. And once you, so let's, I guess, finish out this scenario. We need to order the part. Alex comes in, orders the part. Maybe the field technician goes and picks it up. However, you get the part. Now we got it. We can even come in and update the flag. Part picked up today. We'll go install, tomorrow. Save. And now the flag has been updated. And then I would, we need to go out tomorrow. So then I would go into the job, go to appointments and service requests, and click new. And you can just add an appointment right from the job here. And then we can schedule that part to go out. Technician goes, they install the part. Now it's complete. From the mobile app, they can mark the flag as complete, or you can do it from the office here. You just click on the flag, maybe put a little update, mark flag as complete, and save. That will then remove the flag from the job. And when you go back to the job list, which again, that's jobs, job list, it will be removed from the flagged jobs. So that is a great way to keep track of your follow-ups in your system. All right, we have two reports we're going to take a look at before we get into our Q&A, so get your questions ready. To get to reporting, you will click on reporting right here in the main navigation, so right in the center of the navigation. And that will bring you to the reporting page. And there are two reports I want to really focus on: job summary report and receivables report. So jobs right here, job summary. And then we will come back and go to receivables after. So job summary first. The job summary page, this is going to be a great place just to see the overall health of your jobs that you're doing. You can see the job creation date, who the customer is, the location. But I like this side. This side tells me kind of what's going on. Is the job open, closed, or abandoned? Are there any flags on the job? Is there a checklist and has it been filled out? If not, you'll see the exclamation point. So if a job looks like it's closed and complete, but you have an open checklist, what happened there? If an appointment was scheduled, but it was not completed and it happened a week ago, what happened there? If a proposal was created and signed, but we did not create an invoice, what happened there? So this is just a good checks and balances to make sure that appointments are being completed, that signed proposals are being converted, and that is the job summary. And the last thing we're going to look at is the receivables report. So let's go back to reporting in our main navigation here. And then we're looking for receivables, which is in the accounting section right here, receivables. The receivables report, this is a great place to see all of your invoices in your system. It's your receivables. This is how you're getting paid. And well, first, you can select by date range. You can search by job type, payment status, invoice status, technician, and a couple other search options in the general search here. There's a lot of different ways you can use this, but probably the most common question you're going to ask is, who owes me money and how can I get them to pay me? So, who owes you money is going to be under payment status, and that is overdue. That means that it is officially past the due date. And so, let's say, from January 1st to today, I want to see all overdue invoices. And that's what we're seeing here. You can see the filtered totals. We have over 40 grand out there in the world, we need to collect on. And so let's send a reminder. So you can click select all here and hit send invoices. This is going to send a message out to everyone in this list. And it's just a simple payment reminder. Hey, just a reminder to pay this invoice. This invoice is due. And it's really nice when you send a ton of reminders and a lot of people pay their bill all at once. All right. So that is all the information we have for today's presentation. I hope you learned something. We're going to go to our Q&A now, but I just want to say thanks so much for joining. My name is Mark with WEX Field Service Management, and this has been Daily Operations for Office Users.